Hello, you're watching the information program of the International Public Movement Change the World Together, CWT News. Today we will talk about next themes. The founder of the cryptocurrency Prism and the chairman of CWT movement, Mr. Alexey Muratov, with the working tour of Russia. New Prism wallets and the other community news. Alexey Muratov's book was published in a new edition of Overview. These and other events will be discussed in more detail further. 7 cities, dozens of questions, none was left unanswered. Completed the working tour of Alexey Muratov in the cities of Russia. Details in a brief overview.
Novosibirsk, Chelyabinsk, Magnitogorsk, Volsky, Astrakhan, Krasnodar, Sochi. In these 7 cities, the founder of the Prism cryptocurrency Alexey Muratov held working conferences. At the conference in Novosibirsk, Alexey Muratov shared information about a new, unparalleled messenger, what the community can to expect in the future.
Я вам приоткрою еще такую небольшую нашу.
I'll open the veil to all of you. It is our know-how, which we already plan to implement. This is one-of-a-kind messenger. The world's first decentralized messenger on the Prism blockchain. If not for the recent events, we would have already launched it. The launch is postponed for 2 or 3 weeks. But you can use Prism Messenger as decentralized solution even in those countries where the cryptocurrencies are banned.
Власти посчитали необходимо запретить криптовалюты, даже в эти страны можно будет заходить с призмом именно как с мессенджером.
In his speeches, Alexey paid special attention not to the cryptocurrency itself, but to the movement ideology.
Призм — это прежде всего уникальная технология. Если не знать основы, базис, вы...
Prism is primarily a unique technology. If you don't know the basis, you don't understand the minuses of other projects, you will not understand the advantages and superiority of Prism. And the ideology also is important. Not the Prism itself as our goal. Prism is just an instrument. The purpose of the international movement is to change the existing financial system, to change the world economy, which has exhausted itself today.
Изменить существующую мировую финансовую систему, потому что она не справедлива. Изменить мировую экономику, которая сегодня исчерпала себя. Вы знаете, мне очень понравилась сегодняшняя конференция, потому что...
You know, I really enjoyed today's conference, because there was a pronounced interest of the audience, of all the participants. There were many questions, there was such a hot discus. I got a lot of pleasure from today's conference. I think that also our users of Prism cryptocurrency received quite a lot of interesting information, which they will later be useful for blockchain technology and CWT ideology understanding. Sure enough, I would like to say about your city orphanage. I was in dozens of orphanages, and in my youth I provided charitable help when I was the leader of the youth movement, and, for sure, I have something to compare with. I was very surprised by so homely atmosphere here. It is so clear that the staff invests the soul in the upbringing of children. I think this is very important today. On how correctly we educate the youth will depend the future in which we will live in 20 to 30 years. And even more so, it is relevant for our international movement, whose goal is to change the world for the better.
Молодежь будет зависеть то будущее, в котором мы будем жить через 20-30 лет. И тем более это актуально для нашего международного движения, цель которого – изменить мир в лучшую сторону.
To understand the essence of PRISM's advanced cryptocurrency, it's necessary to understand the ideology of the international public movement CWT. The book by Alexei Muratov was published in a new edition. Details were studied by our journalists.
Change the world together. Soon the world will see the second edition of Alexei Muratov's book, CWT Ideology. The circulation of the book was 5,000 copies. This book presents a vision of the new ideology of the international public movement, Change the World Together. This ideology unites people of different countries, different cultures, religions and confession for the sake of one goal, to become free from the domination of world financial corporations. The second edition has retained its thematic focus, but some parts of the book have undergone changes, and a chapter about the advanced cryptocurrency PRISM has been added with a description of its concept. Already in the foreword the author focuses the reader's attention on the subject of criticism and discussion of the current financial and economic systems, which he carries through almost 200 pages, and at the end of the book introduces the reader to the PRISM advanced cryptocurrency. PRISM is the solution of the CWT public movement, the result of the work of a strong international group of programmers. PRISM doesn't have an issuing center and can be used as an absolutely transparent and decentralized payment method. But most importantly, PRISM is devoid of the shortcomings of Bitcoin and, as it develops, will become even more decentralized, which excludes the very possibility of seizing power over the system. Everyone can read the e-version of the book free of charge on the official website of the community CWT.top by going to the section Ideology, Book Read, while the book is available only in Russian.
Moving to new wallets and other community news, in a short review continued the release.
On the 27th of July, 2018, the renewed PRISM blockchain was launched. Such a cardinal decision was made in connection with the fact that the source code could not be changed on the working blockchain of PRISM. A new version of the blockchain is launched on an isolated network. Only data for CoinMarketCap, wallet.prism.space and blockchain.prism.space are sent to the outside. 3-level security system. The first part is generated on the server-side wallet.prism.space, the second part is generated by the browser on the user's side, and the third part is added by the user from the mine. Nowadays, more than 90% of user coins have been transferred to a new wallet. At the request of users, migration of coins using transit keys was extended until the 1st of September, 2018. From 1 to 14 of September, a move will be made without transit keys. Also on September 14, GitHub will publish Nota in public access where PRISM Discovery and PRISM Loyalty will already be integrated. First place in the CryptoFaces project rating. Alexei Muratov became the leader of the voting. As the founder of the project, Andrei Vorenkov, said the idea was born accidentally. At some point in the fall of the market, some people began to make honor boards with crypto villains. It was negatively perceived by representatives of the community of the new Russia economy. In response to this, my acquaintance Boris Pashenko jokingly made a plaque honoring crypto fellows and was there in the first place. When I saw this, I had an idea to make an interactive rating, where it would be possible to express both a positive and negative attitude to some personality from crypto economics. The project began to grow rapidly. After the dislikes were removed, attendance began to fall, although less participants in the rating deleted themselves their persons from voting. Therefore, there are many directions for development. Firstly, we plan to return the dislikes. Secondly, add comments. Many participants in the rating with a lot of minuses ask for what they get it. Comments will help to better understand the way out and drop down. In addition, the number, quality and style of comments can be judged on how much the rating is inflated. Represent PRISM in Turkey supported the action directed against the American financial elites and the appreciation of the dollar exchange at which more than 50 people gathered. Ozgun Yemiş spoke for the media on behalf of those present. He said, the US in many countries of the world is trying to unleash an economic war, especially in Turkey. The dollar rose to a critical level and companies that trade in relation to the dollar are now experiencing an economic crisis.
Only 2 out of 5 cryptocurrencies have working products, and mining can cause environmental catastrophe. These are the opinion of international experts which our correspondent studied.
The dollar is a real scam. Now we are watching its sunset. This point of view was expressed by the financial expert and author of the bestseller, Rich Dad, Poor Dad Robert Kiyosaki. According to him, in the world there are 3 forms of currencies: the money of God, government and people. To God's money, Kiyosaki attributes gold and silver. To government, the fiat currency. Cryptocurrency, in his opinion, is the property of people. Governments that print money in quantities, as much as they want, and winding up the inflation, provoke the collapse of fiat money. Kiyosaki compared the dollar with toast, and cryptocurrencies and precious metals with a toaster, which pushes the fiat currency. However, not every cryptocurrency is ready to replace the fiat. Work products, which are used by real consumers, provide only 2 of the 5 cryptocurrencies. These are the results of studies that compared the implemented functions with the declared promises, and as a result, according to experts, promises are met only by 40%. However, the reality is even more pessimistic. Much less than 40% of those projects that have any working product in the form of a unique technology that surpasses all others. The overwhelming majority of existing cryptocurrencies today are populism and PR, which have absolutely no value. Unlike Prism advanced cryptocurrency, which can become a real alternative to existing fiat money, having a unique technology and a strong ideology. Nevertheless, the experts are optimistic in their forecasts regarding the cryptocurrency market. Cryptocurrencies' prices will soon recover, the trend will radically change direction and speculators will return to the market. So says the head to date the largest exchange of digital currencies, Binance. However, the price of Bitcoin, and any cryptocurrency, is determined by the uniqueness of the technology underlying it, and if demand exceeds supply, the price increases. But today the first cryptocurrency is technologically obsolete. New generation cryptocurrencies, such as Prism, significantly outperform Bitcoin, both technically and in terms of decentralization. After all, the price of Bitcoin depends on large investors. Since 90% of coins are on only 10% of wallets, that didn't allow Bitcoin to become a full-fledged decentralized alternative to the fiat currency, and speculators from the market didn't go anywhere. The very same exchanges are forced to fight for ratings, using the full range of ways to fight. In the struggle for leadership, top-end exchanges artificially overestimate trading volumes by $6 billion daily. This is 2/3 of the total volume of all trading platforms. Such results of expert research of the data that the portal CoinMarketCap has give. A similar situation with the ratings of cryptocurrency themselves, trading volumes of which are also wound up outputting the currency in the top, and these data have no real. For example, the Prism cryptocurrency is not included in the top 100. However, the activity of users is much higher than that of top-level cryptocurrencies. This shows the reality of the community. As for the turnover, which is not as high as that of other currencies, this is due to the fact that the main sales of Prism coins pass through the exchange points of the leaders and directly between the P2P participants. The question, is it worthwhile to trust any ratings, still has no answers. The capitalization of the majority of the ICOs that were held is also not quite true, and it turns out that in the absence of a unique technology they have no money for release the same project, so naked populism and empty advertising come to an end with a big soap bubble. And investors need to pay more attention to studying the uniqueness of the proposed technology and to assess the activity of the community of a particular project. The crypto and blockchain industry was generally appreciated by the professor of Qatar University. To be more precise, its impact on the environment, having come to the conclusion that crypto mining can cause an ecological catastrophe. As we have repeatedly said, the costs of mining Bitcoin are increasing every year, requiring more equipment that consumes a huge amount of electricity. For example, processes associated with a single Bitcoin transaction can provide electricity to a British home within a month. However, the future is for cryptocurrencies. Therefore, mining, which consumes a huge amount of electricity and leads to incredible carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere, proof-of-work mining has outlived itself, giving way to forging, which is used to produce advanced cryptocurrency, such as Prism. After all, Prism is part of the ideology of the International Public Movement CWT, all of whose actions are aimed precisely at changing the structure of the world, the resource-oriented economy and the justice of the universe.
This is all for today. Don't be indifferent to anything, because together we can change the world for the better. Follow the events of the world with us. See you soon.